In the near decade that I have been professionally selling online full-time as a reseller, the single most important research tool that I have ever used is free right here on YouTube, and it's videos just like the one you are watching. I grew my business on watching what sold videos on YouTube. I always found it far more important to know what buyers are buying than what resellers are picking up. So today I am bringing you a video about some things that I have sold recently over on my eBay store, how much they sold for, and if I pick them up again. Alrighty. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Rachel Strickland. I'm a full-time online reseller, and I have dedicated this channel to showing you how to be a full-time online reseller as well. The point and purpose of this channel is to bring you tips and hacks about being the best reseller you can be. So if you're interested in that, please hit that subscribe button. That helps a small channel like mine more than you could ever know. And while you're here, consider dropping a comment or hitting that like if you learned something in today's video. Let's get straight to what sold. This first item that sold is actually so fun. My son sold this, and these are a pair of Croc headlights. These light up gibbets clip right onto a pair of Crocs. Someone in Puerto Rico actually purchased these, and he was able to sell these for $9.99 with free shipping. He had a couple pennies in those because they came in an Amazon bins bag. If you are new to the channel, I shop at the Amazon bin store. On Wednesdays, we fill an entire IKEA bag for only $10. And so this was one of probably 100 or more items that was inside that bag that he got for $10 that day. So a few pennies into a $10 sale with free shipping, probably profited about $4 or $5 on this sale. Delo's on a roll because this is one of his sales also, and I think this is one of two that we will showcase of this exact item within this video. Delo is my 17-year-old son who resells on my accounts, on eBay, on whatnot, and he is such an entrepreneur. He has also started 3D printing items. This sale is for a 3D printed Lego stand, so he 3D prints these stands that you could take a spaceship or anything similar that needs to be flying or displayed. I think he even put a car on one once, and you just clip it right onto the 3D printed item. He sells these for $20 on my eBay. He sells them on our whatnot also, and he does really well with them. The reviews have always been fantastic over those, and I'm just so happy that he found yet another way to make money as a young entrepreneur. How about a cassette tape sale? I recently put out a video about cassette tapes that sell for a lot of money on eBay, and you guys went crazy over it. I have to thank you in the biggest way, because when YouTube pushes out a video, it is because viewers like you clicked on that video. People that are subscribed to the channel, regular viewers, saw that video and clicked on it, and my heart goes out to you in the most sincere way. Thank you so much for making that video so big. If you have not already seen it, I will definitely drop the link to that video in the description. There I detail what cassette tapes sell, the top selling cassette tapes of all time, and this one didn't quite make it into that video. It is Chicago 9, Chicago's Greatest Hits by Chicago, February 1995. Guys, I had it listed for $23.90. I put out offers, a certain percentage off, so this one actually sold for $20.90 plus $5 shipping. Next up, we have a pair of Jeffrey Campbell size 8 Elmcroft embroidered floral print ankle boot lace up boho. How about those keywords? I also have a keyword video if you guys are looking for some keyword hints and tips and hacks. Definitely check out that keyword video. But those keywords helped these boots sell. Now I will tell you, I did not sell them for the $99. I took a pretty steep discount here and sold these for $59. But you'll notice in this particular photo, the number 3 on the bottom. I only paid $3 for these boots, so selling them for $60 was a-okay with me. If you're not aware, Jeffrey Campbell is definitely a brand to pick up in shoes. Here's a hat I got for free at my husband's grandpa's estate. He had such a huge wall of vintage hats. Some of them I wonder if he'd ever worn. I picked up this one. It says Honorable Men of the Upper Cumberland, Tennessee, Blue Jesus Cross Mesh Trucker Hat. Had it listed at $22.99, and I took a best offer of $20 on that. Plus the buyer paid $5 shipping. Not bad for a free pickup. Here's an item I know so little about. I'm not even exactly sure how to describe it to you guys. It's some piece of audio equipment. My husband and I were thrifting together one day in a nearby charity thrift shop. He found this for $8, and although I don't know exactly what it is, I do know how to look up comps on model numbers, brands. This is the PVXR 400B mixer amp, so it's an amp, 200 H power model vintage works. Now, the way that we tested this was to power it on, see that everything lit up. Obviously, I don't have an entire soundboard to hook this up to. I listed it at $139. It's set for about 4 or 5 months. I sold it for full price plus $30 shipping. I do have a little phrase here on the channel: you can ship anything for $27 via FedEx, and that is because I live in Missouri, and geographically I am equidistant from either coast really. So FedEx is always my go-to whenever I purchase something really heavy. I know I can ship it, chances are, for $30 or less via FedEx. I kid you not, it's almost always $27 for something heavy like this, and this item was no exception. The more you resell and the more you ship, you will become familiar with the best shipping practices for your area or for your region. So what is best for me for shipping may not be best for you. Imagine if you lived in Florida or Washington and you offered this for $30 flat fee shipping and you had to ship to the other coast. That could easily eat away at all of your profits. So while I am showing you my shipping prices, it's more to inform you of exactly how much the buyer was all in for. On this particular piece of equipment, since it was $139 plus $30 shipping, that means the buyer was all in at $169. Now, if it costs you $100 to ship it to them, they may only pay $69 for it. Anytime you're watching a what sold video and you're trying to research, or you're trying to research products on eBay, consider the shipping price as well as the price of the item that the buyer paid, because that is truly what the buyer paid for that item. Here's another fun sale that my son sold. Vintage 1999 Pokemon collector trading card collectible storage case by Just Stuff. It is basically a tackle box for your Pokemon cards. $69.99 plus $12 shipping. Now, he did take a best offer, but he still got 60 bucks plus $12 shipping on this. That's pretty good. Another one of Delo's sales. Now, one day I was in the Amazon bin store and it seemed like the only thing that was left over was watch straps, and there were so many. I probably brought him home about 200, and from that, the kids probably sold somewhere around 40 maybe. He sells them for $9.99 with free shipping. So usually he profits about $4.60. There was one recently where the shipping was a little bit higher. He made $3.80, but over the long haul of 200 of these, he'll profit close to $1,000, and it costs $10 for all of those. So while small sales like this might not look like much, consistency over time can yield you pretty good profits on something like this. I actually didn't buy this to flip. This was my oldest son's shirt, and that's how long we've had it. This is like a youth large. I had it so long it almost fit his younger brother, but I listed it on eBay. I sold this used Nike boys large Jordan Airman Jump Fly sleeveless gray. I spelled gray 2 different ways here. Athletic shirt for $12.90 with free shipping. Another small sale, but all of those small sales certainly add up. Vintage 1978 Toll painting book, Minis Grow Up by Trudy Beer. This is just a little instructional book on how to paint particular things. It was $8 with free shipping. Now, items like that, which are educational books, not magazines, not anything with any type of a print advertisement, can go media mail via USPS. On a very lightweight item that seems to not make as much of a difference as if you have, say you had one book that weighed 8 pounds, definitely ship that media mail if it qualifies, because you're gonna save yourself quite a bit of money. But as a caveat, I've been told by USPS workers that media mail is the last to leave the truck. Those extended mailing times could prove to be detrimental if you have a very high dollar book sale. And I don't believe that media mail comes with its own insurance, so you'll want to add that as well. So there are cases where USPS ground advantage or priority mail may be better than media mail for shipping. Here's an item I almost didn't list because it was monogrammed and personalized, but although it took quite some time, it did eventually sell. Now, it didn't sell for much. I got $5 plus $5 shipping out of this. So should I have listed it? Was it worth the time to take the pictures and worth my packing supplies? Probably not. In hindsight, I feel like I should have went with my gut and not listed this monogram cover up, but it's a Jordan size medium monogram C oversized tunic cover up gown green. $5 with $5 shipping. I I love the brand Coach and I love to collect vintage Coach. I found this beautiful Coach purple zippy wallet. It's a small bifold size wallet. It was only $6 at my thrift store and I listed it, sold it within a week and a half for $29 plus $5.70 shipping. That brings up a good point though, and you're gonna see it proven in 2 more sales within this video. Coach is not a brand that automatically sells for a ton of money. I mentioned vintage Coach and that's what I truly like to collect. Now that stuff can go for hundreds of dollars, but a lot of modern Coach just isn't worth what I feel like people think that it's worth, especially with the Coach outlets. You can get a new Coach wallet at 70% off regularly on the Coach website. So thinking that I would get any more than $29 for that beautiful Coach wallet really was a pipe dream. While some Coach is worth a lot of money, most of the modern pieces simply aren't. Always pull comps before you pay up for modern Coach. I bought these dishes whenever I was prepping for a Whatnot show, a Whatnot Christmas show. I think I paid like $2 per box of these and I offered them on my Whatnot for $5 a box. Nobody wanted them and they just sold on my eBay for $43.99 plus $24 shipping. They are vintage Nico, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Nico Happy Holidays 4-piece fruit bowl set as well as a 4-piece salad bowl set. Listed those separately. They sold to the same buyer. The buyer was willing to pay again $24 in shipping for both of those. And I got those 2 huge boxes out of the way all at once. Here's an interesting sale. Something I think a lot of people walk right by is the lamp section in thrift stores. Don't walk by the lamp section, especially brass or vintage metal lamps. Now I did not buy this one to sell. I actually bought this for my wedding. No, we didn't have lamps everywhere at our wedding. My husband gutted this lamp. He took everything out of it and I made this huge floral arrangement and stuck it on top of this, and it was on our head table at our reception. That does make it kind of sentimental, but I still didn't have room for it in my home. Knowing that brass lamps and vintage metal lamps sell for quite a bit of money, I listed this I think at $99. It's been listed about a year and a half. It takes up a lot of space in my office, so I was happy to take an offer for $60 plus $30 shipping because you can ship anything via FedEx for $27. Let's pause for a second and thank the sponsor of today's video. That is Hernest, one of the most amazing furniture companies and furniture brands that I've seen recently. They sponsored a previous video and sent me this amazing cabinet that I record in front of. I love this cabinet. This is actually in my living room. And when I saw the quality of construction of this piece and they offered to send me a second piece for my house, I jumped on that. A lot of online furniture to me just looks the same, but this company is so different. I feel like everything that they have is a level up. It is an upgrade of the pieces that you already have in your home or the pieces that I see offered everywhere else on Amazon, IKEA. Hernest is just a step above, and you guys have to check out the piece that they sent us for our bedroom. First, we open the box. I can't help but notice how similar the color. This is the one that we're replacing, and then this is the new one. So it's definitely gonna blend in with the bedroom so nicely. But this one, guys, it's just falling apart. It has these like dovetail joints here, but it's cheap, it's very old, and it's glued together in a lot of places. And one of these drawers completely fell off. Okay, like a little while ago. I've been living with it just have fallen off for what, like a year, Drew? So here is the piece that we are replacing and like the scrolly design and everything. And look, here's the drawer fronts for the piece that we got. It's just, I mean, seriously, we couldn't be replacing this with a better piece. It's just an upgraded, updated, and modern version of what we had that is not falling apart. This thing is like, this is heavy, and these drawers are so much bigger than the ones that we had. Oh, I am absolutely loving the feet of this. This again is just like such an upgrade from the piece that we're replacing, but it still gives the same like old Hollywood Regency type of vibes. I can't wait to see what the drawer hardware looks like. Hang on a second. I just want to point out that they've used mattress pad in between to protect this. That seems like a great shipping hack if only someone else had thought of that. This is so pretty. Guys, this is the hardware, and let me show you just how my style this hardware is. Like, I thought if I didn't like the hardware, I could always replace it with something, but I would never replace this. Let me show you. This is actually the style of hardware that is in my kitchen. Look at this, how similar these pieces are. Ooh, this is so pretty. Now it makes me think, if we had gold hardware on the cabinet, I'm just kidding. We'll keep this lucite hardware. I'm looking forward to using this hardware because we really didn't have any hardware previously. The drawers just like slid in and out on some wooden rail that was definitely past its prime. So again, major upgrade. Boop, boop. It was not a 30-minute process. It was a 3-hour process, but oh my gosh, this gold hardware, you guys. These drawers are a lot deeper than what we had. They're definitely bigger. Oh man, this just brightens up the space so much. And come on, can we get a round of applause for these feet? How beautiful are those? I seriously love this hardware. Bravo, Hernest. Thank you again to Hernest for the beautiful piece. We really needed a dresser, quite obviously. Check out the link below in my description as well as the discount code so that you can shop the Hernest website. Also, you will not be disappointed in the quality of those pieces. Now back to the sole. Here is a basic clothing piece I definitely shouldn't have picked up. I liked it because of the brand. I liked it because it was new with tags. I do not like that I sold it for $9 with free shipping just to get rid of it probably 2.5 years after I bought it. I feel like I have so many basic brands of clothing, things that that I would pick up because I saw other resellers picking them up. Again, the value in videos like this would be that you're seeing how much items actually sold for, because I feel like in haul videos, a lot of times it's speculation about what it's going to sell for. And I was definitely guilty in the beginning of my reselling career in picking up the brands that I was told to pick up, but not realizing that everyone was picking up those brands, that the market was becoming flooded with those brands, that the sell-through rate was not where it needed to be for my business model. So do I regret picking up a lot of the clothing brands that I picked up early on in my reselling career? Absolutely. I have a video coming up where I'm going to be showcasing you guys how I'm going to liquidate the less than stellar clothing buys and get those in the hands of people who are going to truly enjoy them. So if you want to check out that video, again, be sure you are subscribed to the channel. You do not want to miss. It is part of a huge announcement coming to the channel April 16th. Another sale by my son. This is a Chevrolet key fob racing keychain, metal key, ring, hook, strap, lanyard, leather. Those are so many excellent keywords. He sold this internationally. It sold for $14.99. The buyer paid $5 shipping plus their international shipping. Next up, we have a pair of Stuart Weitzman heels. Now, Stuart Weitzman in and of itself is a fantastic brand, especially if you can get a hold of the modern pieces. If you ever see Stuart Weitzman boots, that's a $200 pair of boots. That's $250. We're talking used for Stuart Weitzman boots. But don't get so obsessed with a brand that you just pick up everything, because these have been listed in my store for probably about a year. I had them listed for $29 plus $9 shipping, and I just took a best offer for $22. I paid $2 for these shoes, so it's definitely still a profit, but they took up a fair amount of space in my inventory for a fair amount of time. Another case of the brand is good, but the sell-through rate on those vintage ones just weren't there. And then also take a peek at the size of these shoes. When you're listing women's shoes, definitely think about the size. These were a 6.5 double A. Double A is extremely narrow. So not only were they very small size, 6.5, they were extremely narrow. I can see why they were in good use condition. She probably never wore these. Next up is an item I found at the Amazon bin store, and I didn't expect to find it. It was MAC Studio Foundation. Now, MAC is a fantastic brand of makeup. If you see it, definitely comp it out. If you see it cheaply enough, for instance, I bought this for only $1, just pick it up. It's new MAC Foundation Studio Fix Fluid Foundation, SPF 15, in the color NC45, 100% authentic, and it sold for $39.99 with free shipping. Turn in $1 into 40 bucks, rinse and repeat. Check out this next item, guys. I got this in a trunk of doll clothes. There was actually a doll and a ton of clothing. I have parted it out, and this is the last outfit to sell. Some of those outfits sold for $40 a piece. Now, while I have this one listed, this is again just the outfit, not the doll. Vintage outfit, no doll, only clothing, orange romper, boots, vest. So it was the entire ensemble. I had it listed for $39.89 plus $5 shipping. The buyer offered me $20, and this being the last one to sell in the collection, definitely want to keep those items moving so I can get new items in my store. Don't get so stuck on squeezing every penny out. I was happy to take $20 offer on this outfit. Here is another Coach sale that I had listed at $58. Coach nude size 8. So size 8 is a great women's shoe size to pick up. Leather, peep toe, slingback, buckle, heels, beige dress shoes. That's so many keywords. $58 was my listing price plus $8.50 shipping, but someone offered me $40. These have been listed long enough. I took the 40 bucks. I love to list vintage photos. You guys know, if you've been around the channel any amount of time, it is one of my favorite things to list because most people don't realize you can get about $10 for the right photograph. If you have an entire vintage photo album, it's so easy to store those. It's so easy to ship them. There are several instances I can think of where people would need something lightweight, you know, to be able to list. Photos are where it's at. This is a vintage found photo snapshot. 70s. Is that a ghost in the window? Creepy. And if you zoom in, we're gonna zoom in really close, there is something in the window here. That helped me sell this photo for $12 plus $5 shipping for one photo. Next up is a pair of Coach new in the box. When I saw these, I just knew I was gonna get $80 for them. I listed them at $79 plus $10 shipping, a little higher on the shipping here because I wanted to include that original box. So we're gonna do a box in a box. The box is larger. There's more weight there, $10 shipping. Guys, I did not get $80 for these. Even with that classic Coach monogram, even with these being leather, they were listed quite a while and I took an offer of $45. Possibly because they were a size 7, which is a little bit on the small size, but still, I was a little bit shocked that I couldn't get more for these than 45 bucks. This new rectangular LED open sign for a store, restaurant, bar, bright, those are all my keywords. This came in an auction lot. When I go to estate auctions, oftentimes you have to buy the entire table. I had to buy an entire table of electronics and this was on that table. It was extremely lightweight, so I was happy to offer free shipping on this and I sold it for 20 bucks with that free shipping. Here is another 3D printed stand that Dello sold. Again, he sells them for $20 plus $5 shipping. I was at a yard sale and this elderly woman there had an entire collection of sleepy eye dolls. Many of them were like Nancy Ann or Nancy Ann style. She told me that those were her dolls from when she was a child, that many of them she didn't even play with because she wanted to keep them and was told to keep them in pristine condition. The saddest part is that these dolls had began to deteriorate, and while their arms, their legs, all of their limbs are held on with rubber bands, those bands deteriorated. So while they were cosmetically in really great condition, functionally, many of them were struggling. It's just kind of sad to me that all of those years she didn't play with these beautiful dolls and they deteriorated anyway. It just goes to show, enjoy the things in your life while they're in your life. I paid $1 to $2 for every doll in her collection, and some of those I sold for quite a lot of money. I only have 1 or 2 left, and this was one that was left that recently sold. I had it listed at $12 plus $5 shipping. Now her arms and legs were intact and she sold for just $7. Nonetheless, happy to breathe new life into an item that was so fondly loved for so many years. It brings me a lot of joy to get that into the hands of another collector. Here's an interesting item that my son Dello sold. We were at an estate sale and I said, Dello, everything we find today is yours. You buy it, you pay the bill, and I won't pick up anything for me. Well, he came to the right sale because there were a lot of snap-on items. It was definitely a manly estate sale. I encouraged him to pick up these tumblers. These are double wall thermos style tumblers. They have the snap-on calendar girls on them, and honestly, in retrospect, they might not have been that great a buy. I think he paid $8 for like 10 of them. Sold this one for $7 plus $6.50 shipping, and believe it or not, the buyer left a neutral feedback. It's a neutral feedback and it's just the okay sign. Just like this, which I've actually got in trouble here on the channel for using that sign. Nonetheless, it was neutral feedback, which at first kind of stings and you think, what did I do wrong? But let me encourage you with that. Neutral feedback means almost nothing on eBay. It does not affect your feedback score or your store in any way. So while your first instinct may be to approach the buyer and ask them to revise, why did you leave neutral feedback, especially if everything was a-okay, I would encourage you not to do that, because it's almost one of those situations where no news is good news, and neutral news that doesn't affect your store could be good news too, because what if you find them on the wrong day and they do adjust their feedback and they leave it negative? What if there was something a little bit off and that's why they left neutral and then they leave a negative? A neutral feedback should be left alone. So while I'm not happy that that's the feedback we got on this, it's okay. I picked up this pair of Calvin Klein ballet flats for a couple dollars at a local thrift store. I had them listed quite a while. I have dropped them and dropped them and dropped the price. They are only $9 with $5 shipping. They are again a women's 7, which is starting to get into a small size of shoe. Guys, I ended up taking a best offer for $7.75 plus the $6.50 shipping just to get these out of my store. Here's another sale from Dello. This is a working Sony PlayStation 4 PS4 game console with cords and 2 controllers. This is his old PS4. He sold it for $149.99 plus $30 shipping. When we picked through my husband's grandparents' estate, his grandpa served as a preacher, as a pastor in his life. So he had a lot of tie tacks and cufflinks and more formal men's accessories. And this particular tie pin was 10 karat gold. So I wasn't sure exactly what it was worth. I don't know how much of it had gold on it. And it did have 2 clear stones and 1 blue stone. So I wasn't sure about those either. I did list it high, hoping that maybe someone that knew what it was worth would come in with an offer. I had it listed at $99 plus $8.50 shipping. It was listed probably the better part of a year before someone came along and offered $30 for it. I know that is like 66% off, but it's the first offer I'd had on it in a year. So that does tell me a few things. So that really tells me that that may have truly been closer to where the value is at. Maybe that's why I had never gotten any offers, because my price was simply too high. I know a lot of times when someone makes you an offer, the first thing you look at is, well, what did I list it for? But consider why you listed it at that. Did you list it at that because you found lots of comps that supported that price? Do the comps still support that price? Or were you setting a high price and seeing how much you could get for the item? Because if that's the case, you may need to take the offer of how much you can get for the item. I was happy to sell this tie tack for $30. Our last item to discuss today is the teeny tiniest little doll. She was about 3 inches tall baby doll. She was part of a vintage Barbie collection and Mattel collection that I thrifted from an estate sale. I did an entire video on that vintage Barbie haul. You can check that out on the channel as well. But this tiny little doll, let me read you the title of this one, is 3-inch Baby Sweets Blonde Doll Sunshine Family Mattel 1973 Original Outfit Barbie. She is Mattel. She is part of the Sunshine family, which isn't exactly Barbie, but those keywords together really were important on this listing. I had it listed for $29. I again made offers on multiple listings at a certain percentage off. This one sold for $26.97. It's just crazy. She's such a tiny little doll to sell for almost 30 bucks. I hope you guys have learned something in today's video. A huge thank you to anyone that ever put out a video like this when I was first starting to resell, and even now as I continue to evolve the way that I resell. It is again so important to understand what buyers are buying more than what resellers are picking up. That's what has sold on my eBay recently. Drop below in the comments something interesting that you have sold on eBay recently so we can all learn from each other. Thank you so much for watching today's video. God bless, and remember, treat your business like your business.